being able to tell your own story, you know, whether it be your personal story or just telling the story of the culture, you know, that's something that Ninth Wonder and I had spoke about. You know, he was like, it's the time for us to tell our stories. It's time for us to teach the classes. We were talking about, you know, him being a professor, and he was like, who better than us, than people of the culture, the creators of the culture, the creators of the music, to teach it. You know, there's somebody who could study it in theory and all of that for years and years, but it's just a different level of understanding when you come from it, you know, when you of that cloth, when you really, quote unquote, live that life. And so, you know, I think that myself, right, just knowing what it takes to be on tour, to be in the studio, to put a project out, to get the feedback, to listen to beats, I could have a whole different conversation with an artist because I kind of understand that mindset because I do the same thing. And so there's a different level of understanding which brings forth a different conversation. Being on tour, being on the road, being away from your family, traveling day in, day out, you know, cameras in your face, having to do press. I kind of understand all of that. And so I think that it just taps in a whole different aspect, a whole different level. And that's really what separates me. But it's also because I'm of the culture. So, you know, when you're having a conversation with somebody who's of the culture and has that understanding, it's just a different type of talk. You know, something that when I speak on panels or when I try to give the jewels back to the youngins or people who ask me questions, you know, I tell them it's a few things, man. Like, I think building a team is important, you know, having people around you, especially if you're an artist, having the right people around you that understand different levels of the business, different aspects. If your man is nice with the iPhone, he's nice with the graphics, then let him be your graphic designer. You know, if somebody got an eye to take pictures, then that's your photographer, your videographer. If somebody's ill with the grammar, then, you know, let them be your PR. But I think building a team is important. For me, I was not blessed with having those kind of people around me. And so I had to pick up a lot of different skills. You know, I had to pick up a lot of different talents and I kind of had to do it all on my own, which is unfortunate because that takes away time from the creative. When you send the email and you write an email and you booking the photo shoot and you dressing yourself for the photos and you got to take the pictures, then you got to email them out. It's just a longer road. So I would say one thing I would say is try to build a team around you of people that fill in these pockets that of the things that you need done. Another thing I would say is understand what success is to you, not what success is to the next person, not what success is, you know, shown to you on television and film, but what is being a success to you? You know, what are those things that you are looking to accomplish? Do you want to be rich? Do you want to be famous? Do you want to buy your mom a house? Like, whatever those things are, those benchmarks for you for success, you define what success is to yourself, and don't focus on what the person to the left or the right of you is doing. Kind of stay on your path, understand your goals and how you're going to get there. You know, once you figure out what success is, then you can figure out the route to it. And once you reach it, you start making new goals. You know, you start figuring out other things that you consider to be success, and then you work on it. You know, but I think having a goal, you know, it's a continuous journey. But I think having like these benchmarks, these goals, these marks that you want to meet help you along the way. And I think it keeps you focused, and I think it keeps you from having those moments of doubt or envy or, you know, just all these different things, right? Because you look, oh, this person sold 20 records and I sold 10, you know, so now you sad about these 10 records you didn't sell, or this person got to look on this blog and I was only on it. You know, you got to figure out what it is for you, figure out how to get there, and then bust your ass to get it. And once you get it, you set up the next one and you knock those out. I think music plays a big part in the fight for equality, just getting the word out. You know, music has always been a way that we were able to communicate with each other, you know, to celebrate the good times, to talk about the bad times, to highlight the injustices. You know, I think certain times people just kind of get music, especially hip hop music, confused because of what's happening in the mainstream. But there are tons of artists talking about what's happening each and every day, relevant, still timely, and fighting for change in the way that they know how, and that's through their music and their creative. So I've been hearing a lot more of it. I've been seeing even some of the artists that you wouldn't expect it from have kind of been tapping into that because it's so obvious, it's so blatant, it's so much around us. It's probably hit home a lot closer And again, because we were sitting still, because we were in this pandemic and we were quarantined, a lot of people were able to really focus on what was happening. There were no distractions, wasn't a bunch of running around and things that you had to do to take the spotlight away from what's the most important, and that's just racial harmony and justice and, social equality.